that they don't even chase individuals, but that chase incurred to the death of her son, Kevin. So, you know, we want to just say, may Kevin rest in peace. You know, may God put protection over her, grant her healing, you know, and grant her family healing. You know, we know death is no enemy to man, but a lot of times it's the cause of death that brings that pain in our life. So, Ms. Oliver, I want you to introduce yourself, you know, give a brief history of who Kevin was, who your son was, and then we're going to go into some questions. Welcome to Heart, Ms. Oliver.
Okay, my name is Denise Oliver. My son, Kevin Oliver, was taken away from us when he was 20 years old. He was an energetic young man. He liked sports, football. He was my middle child. And what was I going to say? Pretty much he was an energetic, good guy, you know, easygoing person. Okay,
so we heard briefly about Kevin. And the reason why I did this show, man, is because, and it's heart to heart, and I got to speak the truth. I'm not trying to step on toes. I'm not trying to down anybody, family members, etc. But these women need support at all times when they're losing their loved ones. And for so many situations, it seems that as time goes on, the phone calls stop. The family members stop checking in on the family, etc. But these women went through a devastating ordeal losing their sons. So, you know, they need support all the days of their lives. Some days going to be better than others, and some days going to be worse than others. But I reach out to all family and friends just to let you know that, you know, their pain is not over. You know, give them a call of encouragement. Check on them to see how they doing. You know, help keep the memory alive of their loved ones in their life. And I want to ask you, Ms. Oliver, because you know it's heart to heart. We haven't talked about what I'm going to ask you. And I just asked you for the mothers out there that's dealing with some things, because a lot of people called me, but they just not ready to come on this platform. So I give both of y'all honor for having enough heart to talk about something that's so devastating. What can you say to these mothers out here that's lost their sons to, you know, murders, whether it's dirt bikes, etc., you know, tragedies? What can you say to try to help keep them as strong as you are, Ms. Oliver, today? Any words of encouragement you can talk to them about?
You keep your family together, keep on praying. It's going to be good days and it's going to be bad days. It's not going to be easy, but you just got to keep on going and keep your family together. That's the best that I can say. That's what we did. We continue praying. It's going to come up every day. You're going to have moments that it replays in your mind like it happened yesterday, but you just got to keep on praying. You got to keep the faith and keep your family together.
Well, that's a great answer. And I met Ms. Oliver about 4 years ago now. And when I met, I noticed that, you know, with so many days that, you know, we friends on social media, that I just used to see her always reminiscing about her son and saying how much she missed her son. And, you know, I just ask you that you, Ms. Oliver, just stay prayed up. You know, stay prayed up at all times. And when we were sitting in your car, and me and Aki and yourself was talking, and y'all was talking about how y'all had so many questions, you know, why my son? And you said something that was so powerful and elegant. You said, but the only thing you didn't do was question your God that you believe in. And I just thank you for not questioning your God and not cursing the God that you believe in, because guess what? Our minds are not cultivated or capital enough to understand the Almighty God. His thoughts are infinite and our thoughts are finite. And somewhere in the record that I believe in, no matter what name you choose to call him, the God I believe in, I call him Allah. If you want to call him Jesus, Thoth, Zeus, etc., God, Yahweh, it don't matter. We all talking about the same God. And in the record that I believe in that circle 7, it say no finite mind can comprehend things infinite. And what that simply means, Miss Oliver, that we're not going to understand some of the things that happen in our life. We're not going to understand some of the things that the God that we believe in placed in our lives. Just want you to know that on this day that the end outcome is going to be good. You know, something good had to come from the death of your son. I don't know what it is, but I know some great things came to you. One of the things I heard you say earlier, that what your family became a little bit stronger.
Yes.
You know, you said your family became stronger. And that's that passage that you see where it say out from death becomes life. And everybody thinks that that passage means that every time somebody's died, that someone is born in the world. But see, your family, you know what I mean, has some life brought back to it through the death of your son, Kevin. So just realize that he's solving problems here as well as there on that soul plane. You know, when he left here, his work was not done. And one thing that can't nobody take away from you, Miss Oliver, and that's the thoughts and the memories. You know, we all don't know the minute, the hour, or the time. We all going to leave this thing that we call earth in this flesh. But one thing that you can always say, Miss Oliver, that was never took away from you, never the thoughts and the memories of your son, Kevin. Because those thoughts and those memories come from the God that you believe in. So always know, Miss Oliver, that when you had those dark days and you said earlier that it seems like it was just yesterday, just stay prayed up. Stay prayed up to the God that you believe in and just trust in your God that all is well. You know, and I'm just thankful for your family, whoever it might be, if anyone listening, her family, thank you for being her support system. Thank you for coming in and making a tight, close-knit family, because that's what she needs. Because, you know, she going to have those days where she going to make those posts. And she going to wish that Kevin was back here with her on this physical plane. But I know that she know that Kevin going to stay with her forever in her heart. And I'm not talking about this heart that pump blood, because we know this heart that pump blood can fail. I'm talking about the heart of your mind, Ms. Oliver, because your thoughts of the son that you brought into this earth will always be there, because guess what? You was his first God. You carried him for 9 months in your stomach, and he listened to you for those 9 months. So you was his first God, and he going to always be there for you. So we're going to take a brief break on Heart to Heart. You know, a quick 10-second interview, because I always want to shout out my guy, 5150, for making this wonderful track for me called Heart to Heart, y'all. And, you know, it's Heart to Heart, man. It's unscripted, man, and it's just the name of the show. And I give honor to you, Miss Oliver, and I'm going to give you a last few words for what, you know, anything you want to say to your family, to Kevin, anyone going through it. Let's take a quick break, y'all. It's Heart to Heart Radio and TV Unplugged.
Yeah. You already know what time it is. Is it 5150? Yeah. Heart to Heart. TV, radio on fire. Tune in. Yeah. Friday, 6 o'clock p.m. Hold up. Heart to Heart, TV and radio. We be kicking new flavors to your stereo. Oh, who kill 'em? This ain't little Terrio. Conversing around the table like a merry-go. Yeah. Real talk, all facts only. No fakes, no frauds, no phonies. Nope. Every Friday at 6, you just gotta call in. Whole team ball hard, so we all gonna win. Hey. Big dreams, great topics. Pull up or tune in and you can watch it now. Hit record when it's on. Grinding from the bottom till we hit the floor. Tell them networks better cut the check first. Each talk, hit me up like homie, let's work. 5150 really giving you the best work. Speaking from the heart when we talk like it just hurts. Straight up. Unplugged with the plug, we show love, so pull up. Unplugged with the plug, we show love, so pull up. Unplugged with the plug, we show love, so pull up. Unplugged with the plug, we show love, so pull up.
Yeah, we want to welcome everybody back to Heart Unplugged. I'm right here joined beside me by two, all I can say is courageous and bold mothers. We have Miss Oliver right here, Denise Oliver. She lost her son Kevin in 2010 by tragedy, and we have my childhood friend Octavia Henry. I'm 43, so we go back at least 34 years since we was 8 or 9. So, you know, we like family. I just want to say, Miss Oliver, you know, may God keep you strong. And, you know, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. You know, I haven't, you know, lost any of my siblings, but I do, you know, think that I have the qualities to uplift people when they're down. You know, I just want to thank you for having the courage. And, you know, we're going to always keep Kevin in our prayers, and, you know, say your last words, anything you want to say before we move on to our next guest. You have the floor right now, Ms. Oliver.
I just want to say rest in peace to my son, Kevin, and to my family and friends, family over everything, and let's stay together.
So, man, now y'all have it, man. Rest in peace to brother Kevin. Denise Oliver, a friend of mine of 4 years, man. And, you know, one spirit recognizes another good spirit. And when we met, we clicked. And, you know, I have nothing but the utmost respect. And a lot of people always think that when man and women say they friends or they click together, that it's something else. No, it was always business with me and Miss Oliver. It was always, our first event was her birthday party. If I'm not mistaken, we had a good time. She's seen I was about my business. She's been one of my best supporters. And I just want to tell you, Miss Oliver, we always going to be friends, and I always will have your back. And I thank you for coming on Heart to Heart. Now, some of these people is not going to like what I say with this next interview. Some people are going to think I'm stepping on toes, and I'm not stepping on any toes. And this pertains to me as well. But this next portion of Heart to Heart Unplugged is about my nephew, Kobe. And I have his mother right here, Octavia Henry. We have the family cousin here. We got Tyra here for support. And, this is a touchy subject. I was nervous before I even invited Aki to the show because I'm like, what can I say to her? I look at her pain. I look at her posts. I remember her face from the march. We came down there, me and my brothers, and we marched with them, and we carried signs, man. I could never, get the thought of that pain because I knew, Kobe ever since he came out his mother womb, It's so funny how he used to say, man, I remember used to go get us cheeseburgers from McDonald's, And I'm just saying to all brothers that's tuning in, because I see brothers from in town, out of town, New York, PA. Brothers, when we have tragedies like this, and we have brothers, these young brothers that we see going the wrong way, and we see that the bent in their inclination is coming in, and we see them walking a little bow-legged and they want to follow the lifestyle that we have. If we sit back and don't say nothing and encourage them to do the right thing, we just as wrong as them. And I'm talking about myself as well because, yes, that brother watched us grow up and watched us do some things. And the reason why this subject was so touchy for me to invite one of my long friends from over 30 years because, we come up in the trenches together. We come up in the North Longwood neighborhood together. And, we've seen, this young lady go through so much, being a family woman, doing so much for her family, with her family, seeing so many close friends that, was murdered. And it was a touchy situation because as I was riding here to the station, I lost count of how many brothers from that generation that was killed. It was a whole generation of young brothers in that North Longwood neighborhood. I'm talking about the whole generation has been murdered through the gunfire. So to all these brothers out here, before I introduce her, man up. The fathers out here, man up. And the reason why I say that, because I have a son out in the street. And no matter, because he's in the street, I mans up. I stays on his back. I can't stop him from what he's doing. I can't save his life. Stop letting people talk about that another man can save another person's life. We're not capable of doing that. All we're capable of doing is giving them some guidance, some understanding of how that they can save themselves. The only people that can save themselves is our own selves, man. So I want to introduce a good friend of mine, Octavia Henry, man. And I just want you to give them a brief history, Octavia, about yourself and, introduce them to Kobe, if you may. Octavia, please.
Kobe was my baby. He was my middle child. Kobe was everything to me. Kobe was murdered February 21st, 2016. It's a day I'll never forget. I hate that day. And Kobe was so happy that day. And the day that he was so happy was the saddest day of my life. We were moving into a new home. And Kobe was so excited that day. He had his baby. His baby was with us. And my oldest daughter told him that Harlem needed some milk. I said, I'll go get the milk. He said, no, Ma, I'm going to go get it. That's my responsibility. Kobe left out that door. He never came back. I heard the gunshots, but I didn't think it was my baby. He was steady packing. And time went by, I'm like, something's not right. It shouldn't take Kobe this long. I stepped out the door. I looked a block away. There was police everywhere. And me and my daughter, we ran. And I'm praying to God as I'm running and running. I never ran so fast in my life. And I told him, I said, my son came this way to get his baby some milk. They said a baby didn't get shot. I said, I didn't say that. I said, my son came down this way to go to the store to get his baby some milk. They said, what's your son's name? And I told them. What did he have on? And I told them. They said, we don't think that was your son. And then he said, let me make sure. He walked the block away. He came back with a detective, and I just knew it. They told me it was indeed my son, and they couldn't tell me whether or not he made it or not. I have to go down to the hospital. Kobe passed away at the hospital. I'm so happy that I didn't have to go and actually see my son lying on the ground. I felt alone, but everybody was there, but I just still felt by myself. Kobe loved music. Kobe loved this technology. Kobe loved taking pictures. Kobe, Kodak. They call Kobe Kodak. I didn't know this boy took that many pictures. I didn't know that boy took that many videos. He was just a joy to be around. And I miss him dearly. I do.
So let me chime in here once again. And the reason why I chose this topic, because this type of stuff need to get out to the masses. We need to see more stuff like this. And this is why I chose. And did you hear what she said? You know, he just wanted to go to the store to get some milk to feed his daughter. His son, excuse me. They was moving into a new house. It was so joyous, and his life was taken short from him. And I believe it's just my thoughts. But my thoughts is that if we can get stories out here to these robbers, these murderers, these killers, and they realize that it's affecting more than just that person's lives that they're taking, I really think that we can start reaching some of these people when they see these mothers crying, when they realize that these babies is growing up with no fathers, when they realize these sisters is growing up with no brothers, when they realize these brothers is growing up with no brothers. They need to see the side of the family being destroyed for the rest of their lives. Because if they see this mother crying and see the pain that I see when I see her and see the passion when we did the march for Kobe, maybe they would think twice before they pulling these triggers. But see, they're running around in Baltimore City. We almost at over 320-something murders. Another young 21-year-old brother by the name of Malik was killed earlier today that I seen on the page. They're getting younger by the minute. And I'm reaching out to these brothers that's walking around with these guns, that's taking these brother lives and has no conscience and thinking that there's no consequences about what's happening. Realize that it could be your mother that's crying one day. Realize that it could be your family that's distraught one day. That it could be your brother one day that's going through these things. And, you know, I just felt so bad, you know, for Aki and her sister, her mother, the brothers, the cousins, and the whole family, because we're just like family. You know, my son hung with Kobe every day. You know, we sat around on Westwood. You know, I had just talked to them. All they wanted to do was, like she said, make videos. You know, Big E, we got to get out of the hood. We got rappers. We got to do this, man. And I just felt so bad, you know, for, you know, his older brother, you know, that made a wonderful dedication song, Diamond. I want to go into that song. I don't want to go on a break. But if you could turn it up a little bit so Live can pick it up. His big brother, Quills Fargo, made a beautiful song, you know, for his brother, Kobe, man. And I just want you to tell you, man, Kodak, just like the song says, man, they love you. Everybody loves Kodak, man. And we're going to keep going. We're not going to leave the air. But I want y'all to hear this song.
I do this shit for Kodak, live a life like Kodak. If you see me smiling, then you know it's Kodak. When you hear them sirens, just know that's for Kodak. I'ma keep a rumble on me just like Kodak. Kodak. Everybody love Kodak. They love Kodak. If your ass don't, you gon' meet Kodak. I'ma keep it throwback just for Kodak. Just for Kodak. All your bitches smile and they love you Kodak. I do this shit for Kodak. Living life like Kodak. If you see me smiling, then you know it's Kodak. When you hear the sirens, just know that's for Kodak. I'ma keep a rumble on me just like Kodak. Kodak. Everybody love Kodak. They love Kodak.
Call-in number is, y'all, 404-436-1277. If anybody want to call in for words of encouragement for these courageous ladies, once again, the call-in number is 404-436-1277. Heart to Heart TV and radio, y'all, each and every Friday night.
Man, it's pressure feeling. I got 2 kids, but it's cool. He's sitting black. He's smiling right now. Hard and cool, cause I got a fly. And I ain't gonna say it, but I got bitch niggas. I remember when you used to cry. You used to cry. I used to hold you, tell you that it be alright. It be okay, nigga. What's a better place than by my side? By my side. Man, what's a better place than by your side? By your side. I do this shit for Kodak, living life like Kodak. If you see me smiling, then you know it's Kodak. When you hear the sirens, just know that's for Kodak. I'ma keep a rumble on me just like Kodak. Everybody love Kodak. They love you Kodak. If your ass don't, you gon' meet Kodak. I'ma keep it throwback just for Kodak. Just for Kodak. All your bitches smile and they love you Kodak. They love you Kodak. I do this shit for Kodak. Living life like Kodak.
All right, y'all, we gonna get back into it. We gonna get back into it. So, my question to you, Aki, is because we come from a neighborhood where death was no stranger to us. You know, in the 30-something years that we've been knowing each other, we at least probably buried at least 40 of our friends from that one neighborhood. So my question, at least 40, and it's probably not even correct. It's probably more than that. You know, the generation over top of her son, all of them is wiped out. Every last one of them that hung together was all murdered in one neighborhood. So my question to you, Aki, is, and you know, I wrestled with it myself, and I always pray that I never get a phone call, you know, with my loved ones that's in the street. But how did it make you feel with it being so close to you, you being your son, after so many years? I'm not going to say that we was numb, but, you know, when we hear someone got killed, it was like it was just a regular, you know, everyday event in our neighborhood. It was. You know, it's heart to heart, so I have to keep it real. And I just want to know for myself, because when I thought about it, I'm like, wow, this is family. This is like a sister to me. I mean, we grew up together, and normally, you know, we're comforting someone else and, you know, trying to tell them it's going to be all right. And when we hear such and such been killed, we're looking like, you know, it's just another day in zone 16. So we know it was different because it was your son, but, you know, what was your thoughts and, you know, what was your psyche knowing that this is something that always happened in our neighborhood? Could you please, you know, just give some understanding to the people?
It always happened in our neighborhoods. I done walked past so many caskets and hugging the family, but I never envisioned that it would be me that day sitting up there in front of that church. It's very hard. It's difficult. It's hurt. It's painful. Imagine you having to go and pick out a casket to put your baby in. Nobody understands how that feels. To literally have to look at an obituary and say where your child's resting place is. Like Kobe's in Randallstown, like he's right there. His body is there. And everybody say like spirit and, you know, just share the memories and stuff like that too. But just to know that my baby body is just not that far from me, but he's really not here. Like it hurts. Like every day, I feel like I'm not the same Aki anymore. It's hard. Every day, every second, you just think about your loved one. Like Eric was stating, when you take somebody away, you still leave people to mourn. When an obituary says you leave to mourn,
Absolutely.
you really leave to mourn. You don't know how a family is destroyed. You don't know how a family is destroyed, how you have to pick up the pieces as a mother, as a grandmother, and still move on and still try to keep a smile on your face, knowing you're hurting inside, how you have to motivate yourself to get up and do things, how when you're out in public and there's so many murders going on that now I find myself looking at different women and wondering, wow, I wonder did they lose a child, or looking at a child and like, I wonder is their father gone? Like, it's sad. I have a grandson that only thing I could do is tell him about his father. It needs to be programs out here. I wish that they had some type of programs for a lot of these fatherless kids. Even if they come to a place where they can just help them with their homework, just take one of these kids and just help them, because it's hard. It seems like every child in pre-K or kindergarten, they don't have a father. They don't. You see the grandmothers there, or the mothers, or someone else. And it's sad.
Do y'all hear the cry? Men. She said as early as pre-K that lots of those children don't have fathers or will never got the chance to really see their fathers. So I ask you, Baltimore, when is enough? Stop getting caught up on, who's the messenger is, and pay attention to the message. That's the problem. Everybody, when someone that might have done some things in their lives is trying to tell you something that's food for thought, we tend to want to shrug it off. Pay attention to the message, Baltimore, not the messenger. The killings have to stop. Like she said, she has a grandchild that's got to grow up fatherless because of a senseless murder of her son. Baltimore, we have to take back our own streets. We have a mother here that's crying for some help, crying for programs. And we keep thinking that the government, and I'm not speaking radical, are going to do something for us. Take all these same resources when we had all that money and we was hustling in the streets, and come together and build their own communities. Build something for these children to have something to do, because in our neighborhood, what do we have them to offer? Nothing. When the weather is cold and they can't go to the playground, the basketball court, we have no rec centers. We have nothing going on for these children. Every other house is vacant. Every other house is boarded up. So these young children from the age of 10 and up, when they start being able to come outside on their own, the first thing they see is the drug dealer, that person toting that gun, that person that's hustling, that person that's doing everything wrong. We need to start bringing back the role models into these communities. And it takes one person at a time, man. Each one teach one, man. And I just want to tell you, Aki, man, that I love you. We go back far, and I don't know how you feel, but this is a start. I hear you cry, and one thing about me, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So I hear you cry. And my first step, Monday, we get together and let's see, where we can start a program. Mm-hmm. Let's go to these schools in our community
and find out what
we can do.
What kids, and reach out.
And we're going to try to put something together. And I'm looking at all our pages, and I got to make some people uncomfortable, because praise Allah. Just give me the words. We had some situations going on in our neighborhoods, and I'm not going to say no names, because we don't believe in incriminating anybody. But we got two neighborhoods that always hung together all their lives. You had Rosedale, you had Longwood. No issues, never, all our lives. Now, all of a sudden, over the last 2-3 years, it's been all this friction, it's been all this foolishness. And I'm telling y'all today, man, that it has to stop. Because what y'all doing is y'all are putting parents into it that grew up together, that had relationships all their lives because their son's not getting along, their cousins not getting along. Man, it has to stop. You know, all you guys are within a 2-3 block radius. What's the reason that y'all can't get along and y'all can't like each other, man? You know, lives has been taken on both sides, man. We try to intervene. I know you guys watching, and I have to speak, and I have to tell the truth because it's heart to heart. Enough is enough. Be man enough, man, to apologize if you've done anything wrong. Be man enough to reach out to your parents, your spouses, your friends, man, and try to iron it out because it's too much of our own people taking each other's lives, man. 300 and something murders. That means we're averaging more murders than it is in a year. It's only 365 days in a year. We already at over 320. Let's stop these mothers from having to cry. Stop these mothers from having to bury their own children, man. And let's start building our own relationships, man. You know, I just want to say, man, that I'm so grateful that y'all came on here, Aki, and I'm just so grateful. And any help any outreach, any help you need, you know, it's programs out here. I mean, you can start a scholarship fund for your grandbaby in Kobe's name. You know, a lot of people think that the donations because they're small don't mean nothing, but just think 20 years from now. Mm-hmm. You know, 20 years from now, he has a son, correct? Mm-hmm. When his son is ready to go to college, you know, any little thing. So it's some things that we can put together. You know, we're not in the same situation that we was in. Mm-hmm. You know, we all changed our lives. You know, a lot of us, you know, are living day to day, mm-hmm. month to month, week to week. But let's just keep his memory alive. You know, let's just do something so his son can always know who his dad was and who his dad is. You know, let him know that his dad was loved by so many people. You know, we can start, you know, the Kobe Never Give Up Foundation Fund, whatever name you come up with. But I know the pain that you go through, and when I see it, I mean, I just ask Allah to, you know, just to give you strength. You know, ask Allah to give you strength, Miss Oliver, and I just want y'all to know that I know that y'all don't understand, you know, why y'all sons passed at such an early age. Just don't curse the God that you believe in. Right. You know, don't question God. Just say, God, I know that the end result, there's something good had to happen from this. You know, we won't go to a brief break if we can, Domino, real quick break. You can play either song, whatever one's ready. We're going to go to a 15-minute break. You know, it's Heart to Heart Unplugged, man. I'm here with two courageous moms. You know, Miss Oliver that lost her son, Kev, and we got Miss Henry that lost her son, Kobe, man. You know, Baltimore, when is enough enough? You know, when is enough enough? We're going to go to a brief break. We'll be right back with Heart to Heart. You need to charge. Is this the same charger?
No, you got iPhone, don't you?
No.
Heart to Heart. TV, radio on fire. Tune in. Yeah. Friday, 6 o'clock p.m. Hold up. Heart to Heart, TV and radio. We be kicking new flavors to your stereo. Oh, killer, this ain't Lil Terrio. Conversing around the table like a merry-go. Yeah. Real talk, all facts only. No fakes, no frauds, no phonies. Nope. Every Friday at 6, you just gotta call in. Whole team ball hard, so we all gonna win. Hey, big dreams, great topics. Pull up or tune in and you can watch it now. Hit record when it's on. Grinding from the bottom till we hit the floor. Tell them networks better cut the check first. Each talk hit me up like homie, let's work. 5150 really giving you the best work. Speaking from the heart when we talk like your chest hurts. Straight up. Unplugged with the plug, we show love, so pull up. Unplugged with the plug, we show love, so pull up. Unplugged with the plug, we show love, so pull up. Unplugged with the plug, we show love, so pull up. Let me hear that.
Hey. Kodak line, bitch. I do this shit for Kodak, man. Long like Kodak,
okay, man. Episode 3 of Heart to Heart Unplugged TV and radio show on Radio on Fire, man. We had another wonderful show, man, and every show, man, you know, gets better and better. You know, I just want to thank you. You can lean in some, Ms. Oliver. I want to thank you. And may God continue to bless you. You know, this episode was about parents that lost their loved ones, you know, their children. And, you know, when I was growing up, when we was growing up, and Tyra and Diamond and everyone, we wasn't used to having to bury our children before us. You know, it was always we look forward to being able to bury our parents. We always talked about, you know, I can't wait till the time come where I could bury my mom or bury my dad for all the things that they done for us.
Only seeing older people, you know.
I just don't know, you know, what's going on in society where we're getting away from that now. You know, where the parents have to, you know, pretty much pre-plan burying their own child. You know, we have Octavia Henry right here move in, childhood friend of mine. She lost her son, you know, Kobe, to a murder in February. Was it last February?
2016.
2016.
Yep.
Coming up on 2 years, correct?
Yeah.
Coming up on the 2-year anniversary, you know, with a, you know, let us know if we putting together another march or whatever we doing, a visual, so I can know, man. I'm just reaching out to everyone, man. Man, when is enough Baltimore before we close? When are we going to stop these mothers from crying over their sons, their daughters? And it's getting so bad now they're killing the young girls.
Yes, they are. Yes,
they're shooting females.
Yes, they are.
I mean, it's been at least 6 females killed by gunfire over the last 2-3 weeks. Fathers, man, get back in your sons' lives.
A lot of angry people.
Mothers, don't give up on your children. You know, because I know, you know, we get frustrated and we quick to want to just say, I'm tired and enough is enough. But when can we stop these calls? You know, what do we need to do to support these mothers that lost their loved ones, man? Baltimore, we got to do better, man. We got to take our communities back. We got to build our own communities. They're closing schools. There's no rec. In our neighborhood where we grew up at, we have nothing for these children to do but to glorify the drug dealer and the gunman and the stick-up man. Because as soon as they step foot out of their house, that's all they see all day, every day. And these behaviors that these brothers are demonstrating are not natural behavior. These are learned behaviors. You're not coming out of your mother's womb saying you're going to be a killer or you're going to be a gunman. These behaviors are learned behaviors over the days of them watching stuff on TV, watching their peers till they get to the point where they're comfortable enough to do that stuff themselves. So as we sign off, man, I want to tell you, Ms. Oliver, I want to tell you, Ms. Henry, I'm so sorry for the loss of your sons. And may God continue to bless you guys in the darkest of the dark days, because some days it's going to get worse. And this goes out to my sister because my nephew was murdered in South Carolina 3 weeks ago. As y'all seen, I had to go down there for the funeral. And she's not taking the death well of my nephew. And I'm just telling you, Lynette, you know, stay strong. You know, you're going to have some good days. You're going to have some bad days. But just know that long as God is leading on, victory is assured. So everyone, I thank y'all for tuning in to Heart TV and Radio Unplugged. Thank you to both of my guests for coming on, for having the courage to come on here and talk about the death of both of their sons. Tune in each and every Friday, y'all, to Heart TV and Radio Unplugged at 6 o'clock on Radio on Fire. Peace.